Great evening to whoever is here. I presume some of you have come in here and some of you will get to see me later. I believe that the limit is not you, but it's your mind. And I also believe and worry about the fact that you don't set aims which are too high and miss it, but you always set aims that are too low and reach it. So today is all about just ensuring that you set your bar a little higher than what you've already set. And during these times when everyone is locked down, everyone is talking all kinds of rubbish, basically. And every single person who's educated on WhatsApp University and Google University comes up with their own theory about the virus. I think it's extremely important that we learn to filter and barrier all this that goes on around us, be very aware and conscious about what we need, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end of the day, find out maybe a few methods to get stronger mind wise. Find out a few methods in which we can actually elevate you to the next level of you. Now, is this possible? It's very, very possible. For those of you who've really gone through challenges, many of you I have observed call them obstacles. You believe you've hit your head against a wall. Some people say that I've drowned and I really cannot come up. Many people say that I've gone into a dark space. All the people who call and speak to me, they say we're experiencing chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all expressions of something which is called a thought process. All of us have thoughts, all of us imagine some things, many of us exaggerate in our own minds. Some of us have more challenges than the other. And at the end of the day, we all experience not just the white phase in our life or the colorful phase in our life, we also experience the darker phase or the black phases in our life. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love for us to understand that when you hit rock bottom, now that is the foundation on which all of us can grow. I've been working with people, I've been working with mindsets, I've been working with people mostly in trouble, because whenever people reach out to me, it's very rarely that they're calling me to share their happiness. It's most often they want to share something negative that happened in their life. And it's so, so sad that in today's world, right across media, right across fraternities of doctors, right across students, teachers, and common people just like you and me, we choose to share what is negative. And it's very rare that people really sit and exaggerate the good things. There's always a 10% out there who believes in good things. I want all of us, whoever is here today and whoever watches this later on, to believe in the fact that there's just a minority out there who's negative, but it's just the majority of the energy that they all put together that influences the majority who actually is positive. So let's change perspective today. And I'm going to quickly share my own experiences in the field of the mind, my own experiences in ways in which we can elevate ourselves, my own experiences with people and through their experiences where we have strengthened our mind. I have observed a lot of people sharing on processes, a lot of people sharing on the body, a lot of people talking about physical well being. But, ladies and gentlemen, there are very few of us who actually talk about well being of the mind. The brain is just an organ, just like any other organ. And I'm not sure about other countries, but in this country, if you have a lung problem, we talk about it. If you have a heart problem, we talk to everyone about it. If our kidneys are down, we tell everyone that we have a problem. But sadly, if you have a mental problem, even if it's the slightest of problems, not many of us will dare talk about it. In fact, people in and around us will themselves come to us and say, shh, don't tell anybody about it. And that's a sad state of affairs. My name is Dr. Ushi. I run a small organization called Dr. Ushi's Wisdom Works. And today I hope to share with all of you the amount of wisdom that I've collected over more than 3 decades. This is all about experiences and people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when your mind is strong, You can handle all the ups and downs. And if you're in a good frame of mind, anything that happens to us seems like it's okay. But when our mind is a little weak and we are influenced by the negativity around us and we actually don't feel really good about it, then some of us definitely make bad decisions due to fatigue now, a lot of fear, and mostly panic that is created by people whose versions of thinking you hear, what you see, what you touch, what you smell, and what other people tell you. All of these can become very overwhelming, strong influences that can change my own original thinking process. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's all in the mind. If I'm feeling strong, it's in the mind. If I'm feeling weak, it's in the mind. So if you strengthen your mind, even when you encounter something which is maybe a challenge or a difficulty or something that you really cannot cope with, it's very easy for you to start working on something that I believe can take you to the next level of you. We go to the gym to strengthen our body, we go walking, we go running, we do a lot of things today. And at the end of the day, we have strong bodies and weak minds. Remember, my dear friends, the mind and the body are strongly connected. They are interconnected. There's no point having a strong body when you cannot build a strong mind. And today, with all the experience that I have, all the ups and downs that I personally have gone through in my life, the journey that I've experienced so far of strength and weakness, I would still say that resilience is key to all our strengths. Please don't imagine the past. Please don't worry about the future. Always try our best to stay currently where you are. Even if it means that this is not a great situation, but I'm going to see it differently and do something about it very quickly. Some words we can remember for today. The first one I already mentioned, resilience. Now, the next one is grit and perseverance. I said it's all in the mind. Now, when I say it's all in the mind, all of us who are currently involved in this session, we are all physically almost alive. Not the external appearance, but the composition of the body in every single one of us is almost alive. Then what's different? What is different in all of us is our mindset. And can you imagine it says mindset? And we all have such rigid, concrete mindsets because our thought processes are completely molded right from our childhood until the time that we are now here and listening to this session to a point where we identify with all our thought processes. Now, in order for you to become stronger, you need to identify with those thought processes that up you. And you need to actually dissociate from those thought processes that down you. And I think it's a great attempt from today that you will want to do to yourself, because I can only tell you what you can do. But if you really wish to take yourself to the next level, believe me, you need to try out some of these little exercises and these small little tricks we have employed amongst thousands of people in the globe, which you can take with you after today and actually just go ahead and do something in your own laboratory. I'm very grateful to Chandra for having given me this opportunity, and I believe I can add a lot of value to your lives. A strong mindset, ladies and gentlemen, is not just by default. You cannot eat good things and become a strong minded person. You cannot just go out there to a gym, wear great clothes, look good, and then say that, yes, I'm a strong minded person. You might feel you're strong minded, but believe me, it's not as easy as that. Now, being strong minded is a trait, and all traits, yes, need to be developed. They need to be learned. You have something inside of us. We all have the brain. We all have our thought processes, almost 30 to 40,000 every day. You don't know what is needed. We don't know what is not needed. But most of us absorb everything. We think everything is as important. We don't know how to prioritize. We end up messing up a lot of things. We give up very, very quickly. And after all the interviews I've conducted with people and spoken to, ladies and gentlemen, I have observed that grit and perseverance, the ability to get roughed and rubbed on the wrong side, and the ability to hang on when things are challenging, when there are obstacles, when there's negativity, when everything around you seems hopeless. That one moment when you hang on and say, "This too shall pass," that, ladies and gentlemen, is getting mentally strong. How do you do that? I've observed entrepreneurs, I've observed sports people, I've observed regular people at home who do great work. Even being a housewife is a beautiful career. I mean, who on earth tells us that being at home is not, a difficult job? All of us who are under the lockdown have experienced how many of us are sitting at home and how difficult it is to do the work that people at home do. So let's not take them for granted. They also do work. They also go through challenges. They also go through downs. And it's not just people with careers that go through downs. So I'd love to state that for those who have been happy, who've been successful, who help others, who appreciate others, have a smile on their faces always, no matter what, and don't spread negativity. I have observed that the world's best trait is what they have, which means they are perseverant, they are full of grit, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, they are a resilient people. Now, quickly, some people say, "I never give up. I never give up." That is not a strong mind. Now, sometimes you shouldn't give up. But you know what? Sometimes you need to give up quickly. And that understanding the difference between when to hold on and when to give up is only the trait of a strong mind. It's called AFR. And when you are 100% aware, when you have great amounts of focus, where you know what you're thinking, you know what you're feeling, and you know your behavioral pattern, and you understand that I'm going to have a change, I'm going to maybe be better or maybe not so better, but I'm never going to be reduced by it. It means I'm aware, I'm focused, and I'm resilient. Once you have the AFR inside of your head and you start working on it, then you believe that true strength of the mind comes from a combination of what I call AFR: awareness, focus, and resilience. I think that's the first takeaway for today: awareness, focus, and resilience. Do not forget grit and perseverance. Now, these are all words, but finally, qualities that take you to the next level. It's not important just to be strong and say, "I never give up. I never give up." So, there are some disclaimers here. Strong mindsets are not switches. You cannot just switch it on and switch it off. It takes years for you, and it's a journey, my dear friends. And in that journey, you got to cultivate a strong mindset. How do you do that? Things you do every day, please watch out for it. Things and thoughts that you think every day, please watch out for it. In order to develop a powerful mindset, you need to watch out and make note of it. You cannot just imagine it, because in sharp 6 to 8 minutes, you would have forgotten about it. If you write it down even in 6 to 8 hours, you will slowly forget about it. And in this context, I'd ask you from today to please spend about 10 minutes with you so that you can make a note of what is making you feel good and what is making you feel not so good. And it's important for you to write down at least 2 things in terms of people, thoughts, and situations that's making you feel really good and that's making you feel not so good. When you write these down, after about 3 to 4 weeks, you will understand what kind of habits are you used to? What kind of habits have you already cultivated? For me to become stronger, ladies and gentlemen, I need to get rid of all the habits that I have and substitute a couple of them. If you don't substitute your habits, if you don't change your patterns, you will remain the same person who's just increasing the age and absolutely not becoming strong mentally. So very quickly, I'll share some processes. What is a strong mindset? People sometimes ask me, "Ma'am, what is a strong mindset?" Now, a strong mindset is what allows me to stay focused. I want to become the CEO of a company. I need to visualize that, put it down on my vision board, and stay focused throughout my life to that. How do I do that? I need to do this because I need to focus on only that one thing and one at a time. The human brain is not very good at multitasking unless you have a superiorly functional brain. And in this context, whenever you're bombarded with you cannot, a focused mind will always say, let me do what best I can, and I'm really ready for the result. So, what's the strong mindset? It's all about being focused on intention. I want this, and I'm not really bothered about anything else. You need to sieve out what you don't need. So, it shows you clearly that a strong mind helps you understand that no struggle is ever permanent. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going through good times, it does not last. And always remember, if you're going through bad times, like now, it shall never last. Human life is extremely dynamic. Human thinking processes are extremely dynamic. 1 year down the lane, we would have forgotten the word COVID-19. We would talk about it in a lighter manner than currently we are talking about it, because we are going through it. People ask me, how do you go through hell? And I tell them, go through it. There's no other way. Please don't block it. Please don't go around it. Please don't try and go under it. You need to go through it. Friends, don't forget that success, anything which is a struggle, anything which is a challenge, anything which is a difficulty cannot derail you if you stay focused on what you want. And I'm a living example to that. And there are many people who've been doing exactly what was suggested to them, who can also vouch for the fact that slowly they've started transforming their mindset to come to a level where they do not make any self-destructive decisions. 90% of what we are and who we are because of the choices that we make. Ladies and gentlemen, till you make the choice, you are the master. Once you make the choice becomes the master. And I think you need to start having this focus in your mind. Remember, focus, awareness, focus, and resilience, AFR. The next way is to use the power of intention. Now, when I say intention, we need to have something in your mind to give it the focus. You cannot say, I want to be successful. You cannot say, excuse me, I want to be happy. Now, the question the mind asks you is, when you say success, what do you mean? Do you want money? Do you want power? Do you want position? Do you want to help somebody? Or do you have an intention? And it's extremely important we understand not just what we want to become, but very specifically, we need to have intention. Because if you have intention, we all can build belief systems around it. And they can become the driver so that we can make whatever we have as a focused point from just something inside our head to something that can be achieved in real life. I always tell people, start thinking every day about what you want and narrow it down to a specific focus. There can be a lot that can happen between you and the intention that you have. Many people, when I tell them, sit with you, take time, sometimes smile and relax, take 5 minutes. You know what they tell me? Ma'am, we don't have time. We're so busy. Well, let me share a secret with all of you. Those of you who are busy always will make time. And those of you who are not doing your tasks very well, you will always tell me, I don't have time, I don't have time. So in order to mismanage your tasks, and in order not to lose your time, you need to make time to think. If it means 5 minutes, let it be 5 minutes. If it's 10 minutes, let it be 10 minutes. I would suggest 7 to 10 minutes a day. And that's all. Why do you need it? You need to reflect. You need to introspect because you are your best guide. People like us come and go. We might give you tips and suggestions. But if you, ladies and gentlemen, don't go back home and do something which is really useful for you, you don't make that time for you to think, then you really cannot do much with your lives. And if you cannot do much with your life, and it means you didn't do anything with your thoughts, then you definitely are a weak mind and not a strong mind. I've met many a person and many people who are physically very fit, and it takes just one puncture to make them lose everything that they gain physically. It takes you years to go to a gym. It takes you years to build the body that you really dream of. The same way, you need to mind gym as well. You need to make time to think. You need to make time to focus. You need to make time to visualize. It might sound theoretical, but try me on this. There are methods to the madness. And once you understand those methods, you will understand it's a way of living and it's not an exercise. Every single time you think, you must learn to get rid of those habits that take you down and always access those habits that actually take you to a different level of your thought process.